Hello to our viewers and welcome to our channel, Podcast.Surface. We are new here. My name is Alex, and together with my colleague,
Ivan?
we are going to discuss about various subjects like politics, history, psychology, and most important, life. So Ivan, let's start. Now, in our previous video, we will tell our viewers that our next subject is going to be Italian election. So let's start with my first question.
Sure.
What is your opinion on Italy last election, and is Italy now headed towards the radical right with Giorgia Meloni?
Well, I think that last elections were a surprise in a way because many people never hoped in Italy that such a right-wing party will win as Fratelli d'Italia. But I think that now when Meloni won, it's not possible to be 100% sure, but considering some of her latest statements, I think she is going to be uh, not so right wing as she had, let's say, her previous politics in her political party, because that would be very much impossible in today's modern world. I think she will be very pro-European and pro-NATO, even though she will put something. She will run most likely politics similar to Donald Trump in USA before, something like Italy's first, some let's say some motto like that. And I don't think this is a bad thing. I think every European country should first have the opinion on their own people and their own country, and after that they should be, of course, all connected with the European Union and NATO and with our Western allies. So I don't think, to conclude, I don't think that she will go towards radical right. The only thing she might do is most likely to strengthen the borders, because Italy has tremendous difficulties with people coming to Italy from Libya and from all parts of Africa. And I think that is one of their biggest challenge. Maybe she will do that, but I don't see any big radical changes that she is going to make in Italy. Even though maybe it's important to say that she will be like Orban in Hungary. She will be the second European politician who is more independent towards Brussels than other nations. So that would be my opinion. And since we are always having two questions, I would like to ask you for the, in addition to that, what can we add for Europe? I mean, is Meloni pro-European Union but against Brussels, or only against entire European concept? And do you think there is some Russia standing behind her campaign and election victory?
Well, I think that Italy will definitely be pro-European Union, but I think they're going to be as well on the opposite side of uh, like Bruxelles, and I think that actually she did say that in her previous interview that her standing is going to be the same as the West, so she's going to be in pro-NATO standards as well and from Europe. For me, which is good. But her politics is definitely going to be much more different than Brussels actually is thinking. So I'm actually really I'm going to see how she is going to react towards the Brussels and what what she is not going to agree with politics there and uh, what she will accept. For my right now, I don't think that it will change much because the way that how everybody are put in charge on any country, I don't think that is going to be much changing in the beginning, but or in next year. But I think that she will make a difference. I mean, she did win with huge amount of votes in Italy, and I think that it's because of her standing towards the right side. And I mean, that's all I can say for now about this. And I don't think that Russia is standing behind Meloni campaign. I think that Russia has his own problems that she can even resolve. So Russia influence towards Italy or towards the entire Europe is actually, from my point of view, is actually none. Maybe in some countries, like Hungary, right, or I don't know, Serbia, and maybe some influence on Turkey. But I think on the Western Europe, I think that Russia doesn't have a standing behind anything. As a matter of fact, that Italy is buying um, new gas towards the Algiers and or Algeria, whatever you want to call it, and I think that is gaining more and more independence towards Russia. So that's my standing towards this question, and I'm going to ask you, uh, what do you think, Meloni give like a statement that Istria and Dalmatia belong to Italy? What is your comment about this?
I think that was one of the fiery comments in during the election campaign. I think she maybe maybe her party. We have to know the history of her party. So they were they did had some connection with some previous political parties connected with Italian fascism, and we very well know that Italian fascism, in its ideology, had the idea that parts of Croatia, so Istria and Dalmatia, that they do belong to Italy, which is of course something totally insane. But I think maybe she was saying that in a contrast to win some votes. Basically, she is very well aware that this is impossible to acquire in 21st century, and that this ideology is totally ruined, and that there is no possibility of ever gaining any centimeter of Croatian territory um, towards Italy. So my conclusion would be that even though we are going to talk a bit about fascism later, but I think that this is maybe it would be too harsh to say fascist leftovers in her head in a way, but I don't think that she was serious when she was talking about this. She was most likely, uh, just she most likely just wanted to get more votes from the extreme right, and the extreme right in Italy, like in every part of the world, is always expen. It's always imperialistic in a way, and when you give them some sentences like this in a political campaign before elections, they think that you are actually going to do something about it, so they give you maybe some extra votes that you need in order to become prime minister or president or something like that. So I don't think this is very important. But next question, uh, even though we gave some comments on this indirectly, but maybe you could expand this with your answer. I mean, Italy had its problems with fascism. We know that. So, in this context, not of course in a context of bringing fascism back, this is impossible, but in a context of extreme nationalism, maybe to say, should Europe be worried?
I don't think Europe should be worried about fascism anymore. It was wrong ideology, and it it rests where it begins. I think that as you already did say that she did spoke about like from Eastern Dalmatia context of fascism, but she did say that because, like you said before, because of the elections and the votes of the extreme rights, it's like something similar what Orban said about Rijeka in this type of that Hungary lost Rijeka and whatever happened to World War I, and I'm not going to get I'm not going to go in this direction, right? But when it's crisis in the world, uh, you kind of listen to what other nations saying. Like for example, as Poland said that Germany needs to like give them money for the Second World War. But for everything they did, but that's not going to happen anymore. So I don't think fascism is the ideology that can stand, not anymore. We know that the biggest fascism in Italy was Mussolini, right? I think that, and again Hitler, right? And we
Yes.
both know, yeah, and we both know how it ends. It ends with the victory of the capitalism and not communism. So pretty much, and the fall of fascism as well. So pretty much, I don't think that Europe should be worried about fascism anymore. Mm, I'm going to ask you the question about what do you think about this right wing European movement, if not a bit more radical right wing ideology? And do you think similar movement can happen in Croatia?
Well, from my understanding, is the conservative and the right wing movements are not such a boogeyman in a way. They are simply, we have to watch this as simply movements who have traditional values, and by its definition, they are movements that want to keep those values alive. Unlike liberals, unlike radical left in the USA, as Trump calls them, who wants to bring some very, very radical new ideas, which maybe are not so positive. So I think that um, uh, what would be in common to all of them is their own definition, the history definition of conservatism, and which produces right wing political parties in all of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So traditional values that needs to be kept.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a good idea. I think this is always something that includes family, country, religion, freedom, personal freedom, individualism, and so on. There is nothing wrong with that. Um, of course, it's wrong when we go to extremes, both in the left or in the right. So it is that would be something in common in this European movements, and I think Europe needs them because for decades we had very much leftist ideologies in Europe, and maybe in the last decade, basically, we have the rise of some modern, patriotic, and conservative parties here in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
As for Croatia, I still don't see the serious political alternative to the ruling Croatian Democratic Union here in Croatia, which would have these conservative values. Maybe the homeland movement, what we have in Croatia, and we were mentioning this movement on one of the first podcasts we had, is one of the good paths towards something similar. But I think they still need uh, more education in their leadership and more ideas, and they should be more productive. So I think it's very possible that this happens in Croatia, but I think that we won't see that soon in a couple of years. I think it needs to. I think we need more masses here that are interested, basically, firstly in politics, because we all know that we have a problem with young people who are not living in Croatia anymore, and secondly, the rest of the population here are not interested in politics. So when people start to be interested, then we can talk about left or right movements similar to those in the U.S. and in the European Union.
Um, so
Yeah,
we are now, if still we are matters of the elections, and in our previous days and weeks we have as well as Bosnian election, and I'm going to ask you for a comment on Croatia's status after Bosnian election. So, what do you think about this?
Croatian status is very bad because Croatia is again robbed in a way, and Komšić, as the representative of Croatian people, again was elected with the Bosnian votes. So this is a clear fraud. But then again, we know that that fraud is very much possible, unfortunately, in Bosnia and Herzegovina because it is not a functional state. Uh, and basically, we could say that in a decade or two is going to be at the brink of the collapse and division inside the entire country, if not sooner. So I'm not surprised, and I think that could be expected. We could expect that in federation we will have the same situation as
Yeah,
we have.
because like nothing is changed, right? It's like
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed, and the fact of the matter is that I'm again. talking about young people, but I think they're very important. They have no future in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Not even Croats, not Muslims, not Serbs. They don't have future, and they simply are looking something better outside abroad.
Mhm.
But when we are commenting these elections, maybe you could say something about do we see any fraud in the elections in Republic of Srpska?
Well, it's actually a difficult question. I think it was actually repeated in some in Republika Srpska. It was some kind of like repeated votes. It was some kind of invalid votes as well. It's very difficult to comment about this. Most people say that it's true. It has been fraud in the elections, and some people on the other side, of course, of NSAD, right, which is the biggest there of Dodik, right? And he says that he win with 100%, and it's like, who do you believe, right? But we have actually good relationship with Dodik, which is kind of surprising. But and we have terrible relations with the federation. So it's like I don't know. This is a really complicated question, complicated nation as well. I think that so many minority there. Croatia, it's like on the edge of the existence there, which has no rights as well. So we can all expect that something did change, or that the high, what do you call him, the Schmidt or whatever his name is, Christian Schmidt, yeah, that will change, yeah, that will change the laws there, so the Croatian will have the rights that actually deserves to have. But when you leave it like this, it's like when you have in federation two with Bosnian and one in from Republika Srpska, it's like nothing is going to change because it's kind of like Bosnian wants this, and actually it was good in previous I think weeks that in our parliament was discussion about forbidding Željko Komšić to enter in our country. For me, which is actually good because he's not the representative of Croatia, and I don't think that he actually deserved to come in Croatia. I don't understand why they didn't do it soon, but because it's pointless. Like we both know how he gets there. So if we know there has been fraud in picking Croatian as well, or picking Bosnian as a Croatian in the federation, maybe there is as well fraud in Republika Srpska as well as election. So uh, we'll see how this will turn out. So far, no change, and it's like, yeah, it is what it is right now. But my last question to you is
Sure.
how much of a threat are now Serbian nationalists founded by Russia for Bosnia and Herzegovina?
Oh, they are a big threat, not only for Bosnia and Herzegovina. They are. I mean, the direct link between Serbia and Russia is tremendously dangerous for entire Balkan. Um, for Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's very dangerous because it can cause the collapse of the state. It can do it. And as for Balkan, it's very dangerous because it can bring all of the Russian influence here in this part of Balkan, and that would be in the interests of the Kremlin because they want to make as more division as they possibly can in the European Union.
Hmm.
Uh, I think that Serbia should definitely be expelled from negotiations with European Union because it is very obvious. I mean, when you look at their politics and their media and everything, and the um, state of their population, that they are 95% pro-Russian and almost 100% anti-West. So I don't see a reason why would they continue to be hypocrites and continue to stand on two chairs as they are doing and continue to have negotiations with European Union. Because again, it would be extremely dangerous to have in your backyard someone as Russian bear here, and we have this here. Uh, One thing which is not normal is that one country is so obsessed with another one. I haven't seen that anywhere in the world, but that precisely is the threat. So, yeah, that would be my answer.
Yeah, but not only that, it's like they're kind of paranoid. It's like that everybody is trying to get them. Like it's kind of getting ridiculous at some point. It's like Russia right now, where it's
Running
paranoid about others trying to invade Russia or Serbia. It's like the same ideology if you look at it, same perspective of seeing
it's
things.
definitely the same ideology, and not only that, but they are, I don't want to sound rude, but they are not important in geopolitical contexts. Serbia is not important. Serbia can get the only importance because of Russia, but Serbia as Serbia is not relevant. And the fact that you said that they think that they are the center of the universe in a way, it is totally ridiculous, and it doesn't make any logic or any sense. But the consequence of this we had back in the 90s when we had Serbian nationalists spreading the rumors that Serbian people is jeopardized in Croatia, in Bosnia, and we have all seen what results were happening in these situations. Yes.
Yeah, well, when somebody is paranoid, it's actually very dangerous. It's like you don't know what to expect from from these countries. Like, yeah, like you said, very
True,
same ideology from Russia and Serbia. It's like,
true.
yeah, it's like there. But actually, this is the end of our timeline.
Okay.
To our video. Thank you, Ivan, for being there. To
Well,
our to our viewers, please leave a comment down below, and we'll see you guys. And first of all, we like to apologize for not being able to put videos sooner. We've been very tired. We have other things in our lives, but we'll keep it up. So until next time, I'll see you guys all. Bye bye.